Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. It occurred to me lately that we introduce you to a lot of different stories that showcase everything the Poconos has to offer, from quick visits to long stays and everything in between. But we haven't yet focused in on the people of the Poconos, the ones who welcome you to town or are instrumental behind some of the amazing experiences our region offers. So, this episode of Pocono Mountains Podcast does just that. And for our first feature, we're spending some time with Jane, who can be found most days at the Jim Thorpe Visitors Center, telling everyone all about the historic town and the many ways to experience it.
Yeah, you go out the door and take a right. At the end of the building, you buy your train ticket. It's a 45-minute train ride, $17 for coach, $20 for open air.
That's in just a moment. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, and with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts, it's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week, highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen. Now to my discussion with Jane Kohler, recently awarded Rockstar Employee of the Year in the Poconos for her 2 decades with the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. We chatted Monday, all while Jane did her job as a welcoming face at the busiest visitors center in the Poconos. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening. This is Jim Hamill with Pocono Television Network in the historic train station in downtown Jim Thorpe. And this also doubles as a visitor center and has for many years now. And I wanted to introduce you to the first of many Pocono people we'll be introducing you to here on the podcast, Pocono Mountains Podcast, introducing you to folks who are on the front lines here in the tourism and hospitality industry, and they're making your experiences so wonderful, especially the woman to my right here who spends a lot of time at the Visitor Center. Her name is Jane Kohler. Jane, you've been with the Pocono Mountains for 20 years now. You live and you work in Jim Thorpe. It must be a wonderful experience to both live here and work here and see so many people come through these doors.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I live here. I have the opportunity, great opportunity to walk to work. I walk home. I've always enjoyed working here. I love interacting with people. What I love best of all is when people come in, when they come at the end of the day and they tell me how much they've enjoyed our town, how beautiful this town is. We're a small town, but we have so much to offer people. It's like when you come here and you park, you don't have to leave. You don't have to leave and go someplace else. We offer 3 trails that you can walk to, 2 different trails that you can hike at. We have 30-some stores in town. We have all our attractions. We're centrally located with 4 rafting centers. The bike center, we have bike train rides where you ride the train for 26 miles. You bike down for 26 miles. You can always go to the Lehigh Gorge Outpost. They can shuttle you that way. We have trains running almost every day at 11, 1, and 3. We also have, recently, we have a great addition to the town. It's the Jim Thorpe Trolley. They do great trolley history tours through town.
Right.
So what I see a lot most when people come in here, I mean, they just enjoy being here. They enjoy walking around. They like the atmosphere of the town. We have a lot of restaurants they can eat at. They don't have to move. People just come here to relax. That's what I see most of. They come here to relax. They walk the trails. It puts them in a happy mood. So it is a gorgeous little town. It just keeps, we have stores that open, we have stores that close. We constantly get new members that come in. It's a gorgeous little town to visit. If you just want that getaway, if you just want to get that getaway to come here, relax, walk on the trail, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling town.
It certainly is, and that's why we picked you for the first one here, the Pocono people. you know so much about this. You've done this for so many years now. You've certainly seen shifts and changes in both people visiting. I mean, now the Poconos has kind of taken on a little bit more of, I guess, an appeal to people who want to be outdoors, especially over the last year and a half or so. And that's exactly what Jim Thorpe and the Pocono Mountains has to offer, right?
Right. Oh, definitely, definitely. I've seen, since the time I've been working here, I've seen a big increase in people wanting to ride their bikes. They want to go hiking. They just want that outdoors. I mean, you can't get that in the city, you know. So they just come here. Like I said, it's relaxing to come here, hit one of our trails, walk with your family, you know, experience what it's like being outdoors, walking on the trail. It's a great getaway.
Certainly.
So we have that to offer. The people that just want to come here, go shopping, see some of our attractions. And we just had somebody from PNVB walk in.
So
Lisa, it's really nice to see somebody that comes in that I know.
What do you find here in the Visitor Center? You guys provide brochures, you provide kiosks, you provide bathrooms.
Definitely.
That's a key as well. What can people get when they come here to the Visitor Center in Jim Thorpe?
Basically, if you come to the Jim Thorpe Visitors Center, we always try to get people to come here first, because we have listed here every day. We print out what's open, the hours, the prices. So you want to make your first stop in Jim Thorpe, definitely to the Visitor Center. We have a timeline. You can watch some videos. We do have the town bathrooms. But more important is you come here and you get a visitor's guide. We'll have everything printed out for what to see. You could coordinate it with the Jim Thorpe Visitor's Guide. That way, when you leave here, you know exactly where you're going. And then we also provide history. If somebody asks about the history of the town, we're more than happy to go into, you know, a little speech on providing about the history of the town. A lot is our connection to Jim Thorpe. How we got the name change from Muck Chunk to Jim Thorpe. I think those are the two most asked questions. Second would be, where's the trails, then the train ride, but that's what we do here. We basically provide people with information so they don't come to town and they don't know where to go. We want them to know where to go. We want them to know, that's the only way you're going to make somebody you get that happy trip then. You know exactly what you're doing. You're not wandering around town, not knowing where to go. Once you have that visitor's guide and we tell you where to go, it makes a better experience for you in town.
It sure does, and that's that personal touch that you want in a visitor center. You know, you can go online, you can Google something, search on PoconoMountains.com. Here's some more visitors. Come on over.
Is this where I'm about to go?
Yeah, you go out the door and take a right. At the end of the building, you buy your train ticket. It's a 45-minute train ride, 17 for coach, 20 for open air. See, and that's what I do a lot every day, because the train is a big draw in this town. I think it's an old train. It's more for that they just want to be on a train. A lot of people haven't ridden a train before, you know. I have most of my life, but a lot of people want that train experience. They just, it doesn't matter how long it is, they just want to be on the train, and they really enjoy themselves.
Especially this time of year in October, when the fall foliage is on display for everyone to see. Now, I want to get back to the history aspect too, Jane. Both Jim Thorpe, having been, you know, the All-American athlete that he was, you know, storied persona who is now buried here in Jim Thorpe as well and interred here. So that is a claim to fame here for Jim Thorpe.
Yes, it
but
is.
So many other pieces of the puzzle too, and you can certainly help out folks.
Is this tickets for the train?
Go out the door and take a right at the end of the building.
See, this is the perfect viewpoint that we have right now of what your job entails. You're helping people every single second.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of the history of Jim Thorpe. Muck Chunk at that time. Muck Chunk was the richest town per capita in the United States in the 1800s. It had the most millionaires per capita in the United States. We are the birthplace of the roller coaster. When they stopped transporting coal...
One of the kiosks to pay is not working on
Go down here and you're going to see a little white booth. Talk to the kiosk people. When we stopped transporting the coal in the late 1800s, the coal started running low. People used to jump on all the time, and they would do a 19-mile gravity loop railroad. They loved the ride. So somebody thought, let's take the mules off. Let's lay 2 stationary cables with 2 engines on top. It would pull cars up. So they changed the cars And we became the first roller coaster. We were second to Niagara Falls at this time when we ran the roller coaster. Thomas Edison came here in 1911. He was invited to come here and ride the roller coaster. He stayed at what is now the Inn at Jim Thorpe. They wanted him to incorporate electricity into it was always gravity run, going 54 miles an hour. He came, he rode it, he said, this is paradise, just leave it how it is. So it always stayed gravity run, people enjoyed it, people flocked here by the thousands for the train. Unfortunately, with the invention of cars, and people took this concept for the roller coaster, they started building roller coasters, and people no longer have to take the train here. They just hopped in their car and went to Coney Island and all over. So unfortunately, that went into bankruptcy, and they took it all apart. For the last 20 years, they have, when I first started, like the first 10 years, we had a Switchback Foundation. They actually wanted to generate some money to lay some kind of tracks and have a trolley go up there.
Sure.
Unfortunately, it didn't work. It didn't work.
No.
That's on top of Mount Pisgah. It's a fabulous hiking trail. It's a great hiking trail. But that folded, and we just never generated enough money to start that.
Well, you talked about those millionaires. Asa Packer was one of those millionaires,
Packer was
founder
one
of
of theirs.
Lehigh University,
Exactly.
and his mansion sits here. That was preserved for so many years.
Right. And now the Linus has opened up, and when they opened the Asa Packer Mansion, everything was in there. That gives you credit to the town people, to the kids growing up in this town at that time. Everything was in it. All the silverware, the chandeliers, everything was in it. And next door is the Harry Packer Mansion. That was his son's mansion. And that's actually the model for the haunted house in Walt Disneyland in Florida. So we have a lot of people. I had people this morning coming up just to walk up there. They are closed today. The Harry Packer is a bed and breakfast. That is a bed and breakfast. But people just wanted to walk up and take pictures of it. Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I think I spoke with Kay. She had a bike map she was going to say.
Did you call me?
I did.
You're the one that called me. You know, I dug this out for you. And I also got you a DNL book. This is the new DNL book. It basically gives you a lot of the paths that for biking, because you were so nice on the phone to me.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? You were nice too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where they're paying you, it's not enough.
I know it.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy your bike ride. Enjoy your bike ride. And see, that was one of our many visitors.
Yeah.
They come in here, they called for a map. I had it handy for him. I was prepared for him to come in. And you just have to do so little here to make people happy. You really, really do. They're just happy to come here and get out. They're just happy to come here and get out.
That's one of the main reasons why, too. And Jane, you were picked because of the fact that you were recently awarded with a Rock Star Employee Award. Right, you're a rock star, sister. And that was through the Pocono Chamber of Commerce. Of course, the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau is very proud to have you for 20 years now, being the face of our region and our hospitable destination. That you've been here welcoming countless people here and making their stays enjoyable, to say the least.
And you know what? Trust me, I've always enjoyed my time here. If I didn't, I would have moved on by now.
Sure.
I've always been a people person. I'm German heritage. We can't stop talking, and I think that's an advantage to me, because sometimes I'm talking to people and you can see them backing away a little bit. It's like, okay, Jane, we've got to end this conversation now. But me, when somebody asks me about the history of the town, I just keep talking and talking and talking.
That switch is flipped.
That switch is flipped, and I can't stop talking. So I've got to, and they enjoy it. They enjoy it. You give somebody a little bit of attention. That's all they want. That's all they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They came here for something, and you're giving them those tips, those insider information that they can use to make their stay even more enjoyable. Again, folks can come on down here to the Jim Thorpe Visitors Center at the train station, and Jane is one of the many folks here who can help you with your stay. We also have 4 other visitor centers throughout the Pocono Mountains in Milford, Honesdale, Lake Wallenpaupack, and Stroudsburg. And many more people, not quite like Jane, but they're all very helpful in just the same right.
So stop by. I'm here Wednesday through Sunday. I love talking to people. I love good feedback. I love it. And I think that's what makes my job. I think that what really makes my job, I don't have problems with people. But you get this feeling, this inner feeling. Like I had a guy yesterday, he couldn't stop holding my hand. He was thanking me for being so kind. He was an elderly gentleman. That made my day. That made my day. That gave me that good day feeling that I actually helped somebody. And that's what I take away from my job. That's what I take away from my job. I don't go home grumpy, and I go home with, I walk home, it's a half an hour walk through the woods, and I just feel good. I feel good. It's a great town to live in. I live in the quiet section of town. So once I leave tourism, I leave it all behind. And I can relax, and then I'm prepared for the next day to start it all over again.
And there goes the train right now. So
Yes,
we'll
the
bid you
train's
adieu.
leaving.
Jane, thank you for
You're
visiting
welcome.
us with us here on Pocono Mountains Podcast. We could have 20 more episodes with Jane, but we'll start with this one.
Very good.
Thank
I'll be
you.
happy to do them. I want to promote our town. It's a gorgeous town. The Poconos are fabulous.
Yep.
Which is James is going to go to other people in the Poconos. They'll explain their area of the Poconos. I'm in the southern part of the Poconos, and it's just absolutely beautiful here.
Isn't Jane such a great ambassador for the Pocono Mountains? She's our rock star, all right. Thanks to her for spending some time chatting about what she does and her passion for helping others who visit our region all year round. Go see her in Jim Thorpe.
If you want a great job, come to the Poconos.
Check it out. The Poconos has great jobs available right now.
And for many positions, you don't need prior experience. How cool is that?
You can do hotel registration, cashier, dining service, or even a lifeguard.
You can make a career for yourself in the hospitality industry here in the Poconos.
Jobs are available now. Go to PoconoMountains.com/jobs.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Now for a podcast extra from a recent Pocono Mountains Magazine episode featuring the Jim Thorpe Trolley, which Jane just referenced. Brianna Strunk went along for a ride.
There are so many different ways to enjoy fall foliage here in the Pocono Mountains. Take in the sights by car, chairlift, train, or trolley. You are now boarding Jim Thorpe's newest attraction.
When we discovered that they ran a trolley in the 1800s through the early 1900s, I just started dreaming about, well, wouldn't it be great to bring a trolley back?
Now you look straight ahead, you'll see the Harry Packer Mansion.
Jim Thorpe Trolley Tours offers a 1-hour narrated ride, taking you to areas that are especially scenic come autumn, like the Lehigh Gorge State Park and Maw Chunk Lake.
You can't get any better than this to really explore Jim Thorpe, and if you're outdoorsman or want to explore history, it's fantastic.
Jim Thorpe is one of the Poconos' quaint small towns, nestled among the bright, brilliant leaves. Nicknamed America's Little Switzerland, this perfectly preserved Victorian town is lined with boutique shops and eateries.
I think it's wonderful. I love the architecture. I love the way the people have decorated. It's magical. It really, really is.
Recently, the Pocono Mountains was ranked the country's 3rd best fall foliage destination in USA Today's 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards. There are plenty of ways to celebrate the season here, with activities like ziplining, horseback riding, hiking, and events like Jim Thorpe's Fall Foliage Fest.
We have street vendors and street musicians, the beautiful foliage in the area, the train, and all the stores and shops are going to be open, and the restaurants. It's just an amazing way to see fall in the Poconos.
To help you plan your trip, the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau runs a fall foliage forecast on PoconoMountains.com. Updated every Thursday through late October, the online forecast shows when and where leaves are expected to be at their peak across the 4-county region.
There's nothing more beautiful than autumn in the Northeast. Really, it is. It's beautiful. I would recommend visiting for anybody.
Back on the trolley, riders are learning about the history of Jim Thorpe, visiting points of interest like the Old Jail Museum, the former Switchback Gravity Railroad, which helped fuel the Industrial Revolution, and the memorial where Jim Thorpe's famous namesake is laid to rest.
But I never knew like half the history that was around this area, so it's really cool.
And the trolley is dog friendly, which four-legged riders like Henry give 2 paws up. In addition to 1-hour and hop-on, hop-off tours, you can also book a pub and dinner tour or a wine tour.
Lots of options here.
In addition to the Jim Thorpe Trolley Tours, there's also a trolley company offering tours in and around Delaware Water Gap. That's another great place to see the fall foliage. You could plan your trip on PoconoMountains.com. For the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
The Jim Thorpe Trolley Company and Jane Kohler, our very own Visitor Center Coordinator for the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. Just 2 of the many reasons to come back time and time again. Thanks so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe to Pocono Mountains Podcast anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.